What is up, you guys? I just came back from seeing Marty Supreme. I have become Martin Supreme. Marty Supreme was Supreme, and we're going to talk about it. This is going to be a non-spoiler review for you guys. I don't want to spoil anything for the movie, even though there's not really much to spoil for this film, but we got to talk about it. This is definitely one of the most anticipated movies of the year. It has been hyped up. The advertisement marketing for this film has been spectacular. Timothy Chalamet's in it. We got Tyler, the creator, in here. We got the guy from Shark Tank in here. This cast is stacked. Oh, Gwyneth Paltrow too, and it's directed by Josh Safdie, who I think I could safely say is probably the better director out of the brothers. I don't like to really I don't really want to throw shade on Benny Safdie, but I wasn't a big fan of the Smashing Machine. Happy Gilmore too, but clearly Josh Safdie is the guy that does the directing the best. I feel like with the anxiety-inducing scenes and sequences that was really good in Uncut Gems. This movie has all of that, and I think better. So seeing this trailer for the first time, way back in I think September or something like that, maybe even earlier, before all the big marketing, I knew this movie was going to be very big, and I was very excited for it. Ping pong or table tennis. Back in gym when everyone was playing basketball when I was in gym class, I was always the kid playing table tennis and volleyball. I was never really playing anything else, but mainly table tennis all the time. Or I call it ping pong. I don't know, whatever you want to call it. I always played that, so I was very excited seeing this trailer. I was like, this looks great. I'm a very big Timothy Chalamet fan. I really liked him as Wonka, him in Dune Part 2. Basically, everything he's in, he's really good, and I really like Timothy Chalamet. So sitting down and watching it, I can safely say it's amazing. This movie basically follows Marty Mauser becoming a famous table tennis player, right, in the 1950s, and his basically upcoming generational player in the USA. At this time, table tennis really isn't really looked at as sport, and I feel like it's really not looked at as sport even in today's society. I feel like it's still looked at as more of a hobby, similar to bowling, let's say. It's not really looked at as a sport. Watching the trailer, you're like, all right, so it's just about a guy playing table tennis. How could this be anxiety-inducing? This movie is super, super high when it comes to the anxiety that pressures into you. And I give a lot of credit to the cinematography, to the acting, and mainly the score. Similar to Uncut Gems, there was that score that made your heart rate race. There is scenes in this film where the score is blasting, and my heart rate was jumping. I was getting very nervous, very scared all throughout this film. And there's just scenes within this movie that are similar to, I would say, Uncut Gems. This movie is extremely similar to Uncut Gems when it comes to that. But there are scenes within this film where he has to deal with, say, the mafia or different people in his life, different relationships that he's in with his life, dealing with money. And it's just all you want to root for him, but then there's things that he does that are shady, and there's really ooh, can we root for this guy? But at the end of the day, you kind of do, because unlike Uncut Gems, this guy's actually not a terrible guy. He just has a big dream and really wants to chase it. So I really appreciated everything within this film. The cinematography was excellent. This is honestly Timothy Chalamet. I would say his second best performance. I still think Dune Part 2 is his best, but this is one of his best performances yet. Some of the things Marty would say, I was shocked at. He would say some things, because this is also taking place in the 1950s, around World War II. Many things. And, he's facing a competitor in Japan, and that's, the whole thing. There are some jokes that he says that I'm just I don't even know if we could say that. That was crazy what he said. But it made me just kind of jaw drop, have a chuckle. So there is a little bit of humor in this movie, but there's also such, anxiety-inducing scenes, and I really appreciate that. But sometimes I don't know if it's really enjoyable. It's kind of oh my gosh, okay, this is a little there's a lot happening all at once. And this movie is 2 hours and 30 minutes long. And by the time we get to the ending kind of just comes out of nowhere. It's just there. There's a scene where there's this big table tennis match, and then there's a few scenes that happen after that. But right after that table tennis match, I was like, okay, this is the end of the movie. And then it kept going. And I was like, oh, cool, we're going to get more. We're going to get the competition. We're going to get all this new stuff. And then it ends, and I'm just like, that's how we're ending it? No, I want to see more. I want to see more of these characters. Because I will say, with this movie, there's a lot of loose ends. There's a lot of characters that we don't know the rest of their story. But this isn't their story. It's Marty Supreme's story, Marty Mauser's story. But we don't really get to see some characters like Gwyneth Paltrow's characters. There's a lot of stuff that she does that we really don't get an answer to. There's one big scene where she's kind of breaking down, and we don't know why, and we never get an answer for that. which I mean, I kind of guess I understand because it's not her story. Similar to Tyler, the Creator's character. He's in it for a lot of the time, but when he's in it, it's really fun, but then he's kind of just there and never seen again. And I get it because it's not through his perspective, it's through Marty's. So I was appreciating that. But this movie is great, and I really like how it's unique and it brings light into table tennis. Because, it never really was, there's no really table tennis movies that I can think of, or in media really, except for maybe The Office in that one episode where it's Jim versus Daryl in the warehouse, and maybe Victorious when they had like that whole ping pong episode. But those are really the only times I ever see table tennis in media. So it's really cool seeing table tennis in this. This movie was amazing. I really had a great time with it. I'm not going to say it's a 10 out of 10 because we're getting into my overall thoughts here. Here are my overall thoughts for the film. I'm not going to give it a 10 out of 10, I don't think. I really appreciated the acting. I love that. I love the beginning and the ending. Everything is above a 9 out of 10, but there's just nothing that's really a 10 out of 10 except for really the soundtrack and the acting abilities within these characters, but mainly from Timothée Chalamet. So overall, I think I'm going to give this movie a 93 out of 100. It's safely in my top 5 of the year. But, that could change. I will say when I did my Knives Out review, I rewatched it and lowered that from like a 95 to an 85 out of 100. But I got to rewatch this film because it definitely needs one. I think, honestly, from here, I don't think it can get lower. I think it can only get higher after knowing and appreciating what this movie is. But yeah, those are my thoughts on Marty Supreme. Definitely check it out. Marty Supreme Christmas Day, Marty Supreme Christmas Day, even though I got to see this the day after Christmas. I didn't go on Christmas Day. Fake fan, I know. So yeah, if you like this video, make sure you like it. And if you really like it, make sure you subscribe to the video, to the channel down below. And if you want to see future videos like this, make sure you ring the bell in the description down below. Why not? With all that being said, movie nerd out. Peace.